Hey guys, this is Chauncey from Good Music to Know, and today I'm joined by the Vorgs, a new artist bringing a fresh spark to the alt-rock scene. Their sound blends gritty post-punk energy with 80s new wave hooks, pulling inspiration from the past while still maintaining a sharp and modern edge. Their new singles, Supernova and Scream If You Want to Go Faster, captures their energetic, hook-filled sound and gives a glimpse of what they're all about, and we're super stoked to have them here today. Yeah, so for people meeting the Vorgs for the first time, how would you describe what you're all about or your sound in your own words?
It's a solo project anyway. So if you think of like The Streets, Mike Skinner, that kind of thing, where Vorgs is me and I'm releasing music through that platform. What would it sound like? Retro, kind of futuristic. So it would be, imagine you discovered a band from the past, the 70s and 80s, and you just go, how would they fit in nowadays?
Yeah.
So trying to make a lo-fi sound, make it mainstream. Underground, making the underground catchy and mainstream, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah. That would be how I would describe it.
And speaking about sound, you definitely got this like gritty, nostalgic energy, but you mentioned it still feels fresh. So what are some bands that maybe like shaped your sound growing up or continue to shape your sound now?
You definitely pick up the sound of the Strokes on these tunes, and the Arctic Monkeys. They would be two bands I'd always keep going back to. There's 80s influences in there, so the bloopy keyboardy sound of the Cars, Blondie, on the poppy energy of Blondie, and how they kind of captured sort of city life, New York, anything nowadays. And there's nothing particularly nowadays that I listen to. I'll be more influenced by movies, Cars, even ideas and sort of iconography. Yeah. They'd also be big influences on the sound, as much as kind of bands would be.
Well, I was going to say, I definitely, because I'm a massive Arctic Monkeys fan. I've been listening to them since I was in school. And I was going to say, I can definitely hear the Arctic Monkeys vibe and your single Scream If You Want to Go Faster.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, were you like consciously like channeling them, or did that just happen naturally? Or maybe it was a bit of both?
When I started writing music, their kind of styles seemed to fit how I naturally would write. So kind of catchy riffs and maybe fast delivery of vocals. With that song, it just kind of turned out that the riff is kind of Arctic Monkeys-ish, and that punky, the raw kind of punky aspect to it would be similar to that of their first album. There's no kind of fat on it. It's really kind of short, straight in with it. So bit of both, a bit of intentional nods to them, and also just how I would naturally perform. That song just kind of stood out in the live sets. The crowd responded to that one just because of its upbeat nature. So that was definitely just something that was easy to put down in the studio.
Yeah. It
was just kind of well rehearsed and just ready to go, more so than other tracks. So it was an obvious choice to kind of get that down and get it out quickly.
Yeah. Is that particular trap, Scream If You Want to Go Faster, is that talking about losing control, or is it about chasing it? Just curious.
The title, I saw that title on someone's Instagram caption and I just liked it. Someone just had that as, the caption under their post. That was the catalyst for it. If I think of the lyrics are fairly it was written over lockdown, so there's a reference to it's the end of the world and is there anybody out there, kind of almost felt apocalyptic, which kind of fits in with the whole theme of the Vorgs. It's sort of a little bit, it's sort of a retro, but also there's this dystopian kind of futuristic element to that. So that worked well. I just literally trying to make the lyrics and the words as catchy as possible. Whether there's kind of a meaning in there, I'm not sure. It's not really jumping out at me as of yet, but it probably will mean something to me in time. Yeah, just literal, direct kind of quotes of stuff that was going on with me at that time. Yeah. Could be about chasing someone, or running away every now and again.
And then I know your newest single, Supernova, which I really like. It kind of feels like having a conversation with someone who maybe is emotionally unavailable. When I was listening to the lyrics of the song, I really like the song, but maybe what was the inspiration behind this track?
That one was from a bunch of songs that I wrote last year, just sitting on my couch while the TV was on in the evening time. And that line, it kind of started with the chorus. I kind of wanted to write something that was a bit like that Blondie idea of hanging on the telephone in an apartment in a city, and that whole kind of aesthetic and vibe. I suppose subconsciously it does kind of hark back to looking for a connection in a disconnected world. Now that is a line from ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
which I suppose is emotional unavailability, not autobiographical.
And I always like to ask artists, because you get different responses sometimes, but do you make music thinking about how it will sound when it like hits the stage live, or do you more so focus on like how it feels when someone's listening to it just like in their headphones or in their space?
Yeah, both. Like the song Scream If You Want to Go Faster would definitely be something that works well live, and trying to make a song that just really bangs live. Maybe it was some of the other songs that would have been maybe more kind of written for the studio, like in case in point, Supernova. That would be trying to get sounds that make people feel a certain way, like I felt when I first heard the Strokes' first album, or something that, yeah, get them to kind of feel a certain way based on the sounds and what you're saying.
Well, I definitely think both those songs will perform well on stage just because there's so much energy behind them. I think even translating for playing it live you'll definitely get the crowd going. So, I mean, even a stripped back version of that song with just like the basics that you need, like, you know, drummer or guitar, whatever, it still carries energy. So I'd be excited to see it performed live. Yeah. Just curious, like, who are some of your dream collabs, or maybe like even artists that you have on repeat at the moment?
I really like the Voids, which is Julian's, you know, his second band. They put an album out, and it's just very, very different.
Yeah.
I had that on I went to see them in London. Wonder Horse. They're nothing like what they sound like. You know what I'm trying to do. I think they're kind of the best band around at the moment. They're brilliant. Collaboration wise, I think I'd like to kind of maybe collaborate with a visuals director, like a movie, have my songs used for, you know, maybe a theme tune for a 70s inspired TV show, or
like Tron. I can see it on Tron for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think more kind of movie-based collaborations or visuals-based.
Could also see your music. You know that movie with Ryan Gosling when he's in that like futuristic...
Drive, yeah.
No, not Drive. Drive is the one where he's like the car driver, but the one where he's like in that futuristic world and there's like the girl that's like a robot. I don't know what movie that is. Like the visuals.
Is it Blade Runner?
Oh yes, Blade Runner. I couldn't remember the word Blade. Yeah, Blade Runner. I could definitely see it with as well, with that kind of like post-apocalyptic, but the neon lights. Be super cool.
Definitely. All of that kind of stuff is kind of really kind of inspires the music and the visuals and the kind of production. Even just like, you know, stylized movies set in New York in the 70s, like Saturday Night Fever or, you know, Taxi Driver, where they're just capturing kind of great street life. And then, like what you're saying, I tried to watch Blade Runner recently, but I just fell asleep before you kind of watch it in parts. So I still have to get around to watching the full thing. But old movies definitely would work, yeah.
Yeah.
Part of the music.
And so what's next on the agenda for you for 2025? An EP, maybe an album, or singles, tours?
I've put out Scream If You Want to Go Faster in April. I've put out Supernova in June, and I've got another song called 101, and that is being released this month, the 16th of July. It's available on Spotify on the 16th of July. For the 6 weeks after that, really kind of plugging it and pushing it online, creating TikTok videos, and, you know, being that person for a while where you're just you're hammering home the point, you know, you're trying to get it. I'm trying to find my audience online through, you know, TikTok, and just kind of directly making content and gearing it towards them. I'm playing a festival in Ireland called Electric Picnic.
Oh, I love Electric Picnic.
Yeah, it's looking like a good lineup this year.
Very nice.
And you've been there before, yeah?
Yeah, I've been.
Yeah, I haven't been, but I've heard great things about it, and that's something to look forward to. And I think getting back into the studio towards the end of the year, and I got the live kind of thing all up and running last year, and now this year it's about just having music out online. Yeah. I'll be focused on that for the rest of the year, probably.
Yeah, the marketing maybe aspect of things, which is so different now. Everything is on social. It's like this constant need to have to put something out on social media nearly like every It's a lot.
You're literally you're trying to target your audience,
Yeah.
because as regards gigging goes, it's very difficult. Like, you can't just kind of, in Ireland anyway, I don't like, when I put music out, and the songs that have been out the past few months, their listenership has been like in big listenership in Spain and maybe other countries around the world. Actually, America has, like, the predominant listeners are in America. Like, gigging live, you're not necessarily hitting the audience you want to, who are into that type of music. They are going to enjoy your gigs, but I want to, like, literally get a good, fan base of
going. Yeah.
people who are into that kind of music, the Strokes, the Arctic Monkeys. So targeting them online is basically the whole purpose behind that kind of TikTok marketing and all that. Yeah.
I've yet to master TikTok, but I have to start soon.
Yeah. It takes a while. It definitely takes a while, but you can see it. And the more activity you have, and the more you're putting up there, you can see the results, and you can see spikes and peaks in your listenership, and you just have to keep at it, really.
Yeah, for sure. So I think those were the main questions I had for you, but maybe are there any, like, final words that you want to leave the listeners and any fans with?
I suppose what I'm doing with this Vorgs thing is trying to, just create that feeling in people where it's like a familiar sound or a familiar kind of way of feeling when they've heard something, but it's something new as well, but it harks back to something familiar. So, and also that's something that seems a little bit out of place with what everything else is going on at the moment. I know there's an indie revival, so that's a good thing for what I'm doing. But, I don't think it sounds like the music is out nowadays, maybe in the production, the lo-fi kind of way of doing it, even the visuals, just kind of VHS, kind of gritty, kind of looking at. Yeah, just something a little bit different, really. That's what I think the Vorgs are. Some underground, lo-fi, but catchy and could become mainstream as well. Check out what I'm doing on TikTok. Check out the songs on Spotify, and there's more to come, so